There's a moment that happens quietly. You're sitting in a conversation you've had 100 times before. The same opinions, the same complaints, the same emotional reactions moving in familiar circles. Everyone else seems comfortable inside it. But something inside you feels misaligned. You can't quite explain it. But the room suddenly feels smaller than it used to. And the strange part is this: nothing around you has changed, which means the shift happened somewhere else, inside you. Most people assume that when they start feeling disconnected from their environment, something must be wrong with them. They think they've become cynical, or distant, or overly analytical. But sometimes the discomfort isn't dysfunction, it's awareness. Because environments are not just physical spaces, they're psychological systems. Every environment contains invisible agreements about how people think, react, and behave. What topics are safe, what emotions are acceptable, what kind of person you're expected to be. And as long as you remain psychologically synchronized with that system, everything feels normal. You don't question it, you participate. But the moment your perception begins to sharpen, something subtle happens. Your brain starts noticing patterns that used to blend into the background. Conversations start sounding repetitive. Emotional reactions begin to feel predictable. Social dynamics that once seemed natural suddenly look scripted. And when that happens, your mind quietly shifts from participant to observer. Pattern recognition activates. You start seeing how the same conflicts replay themselves between the same people, how certain individuals react from the same emotional triggers every time, how group dynamics subtly punish anyone who disrupts the expected roles. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And that's often the first signal that your internal world is evolving faster than your environment. But here's where things become complicated. Your environment still sees you as the person you used to be, the identity that developed inside that system. So people keep interacting with that version of you, the version that laughed at certain jokes, agreed with certain ideas, played a certain role inside the social structure. But internally, your perception has moved somewhere else entirely. This creates a quiet psychological tension because now you're experiencing cognitive dissonance. Part of you is observing the environment with new clarity, while another part continues performing the identity that used to fit there. This is where social masking often begins. You still respond politely. You still participate in conversations. You still maintain the emotional tone the group expects. But internally, there's distance. You're not fully inside the interaction anymore. You're watching it. Have you noticed how exhausting that can feel? That exhaustion isn't random. Your nervous system is managing two conflicting tasks at the same time. One part of your mind is analyzing patterns and emotional dynamics. The other part is regulating your behavior so the environment doesn't react negatively to your growing awareness. That kind of internal regulation takes energy, especially if you're someone whose nervous system developed strong observational skills early in life. Many people who feel this shift also carry a history of hypervigilance. Their brain learned, often unconsciously, that survival required reading emotional signals accurately. Tone changes, subtle tension in conversations, shifts in body language. They became highly sensitive to social dynamics. At first, that sensitivity helped them adapt to their environment, but later, it evolves into something else: clarity. And clarity changes the way you experience people. You start noticing who seeks validation constantly, who avoids accountability, who uses humor to deflect vulnerability. You see projection happening in real time. You notice when someone accuses another person of something that clearly belongs to their own unresolved emotions. And once your brain begins mapping these patterns, something interesting happens. Your emotional investment starts decreasing, not because you care less about people, but because your mind no longer experiences the environment as unpredictable. Predictability removes psychological intensity, and environments that once felt meaningful begin to feel repetitive. That's often when the thought appears for the first time. Maybe I don't belong here anymore, but that thought can be uncomfortable. Humans are wired for belonging. Our nervous system is designed to maintain social connection even when the environment no longer supports personal growth. So, when your internal development begins to move beyond your environment, another psychological system activates: identity protection. Your brain starts negotiating with itself. Maybe you're overthinking. Maybe you're being too critical. Maybe you should just relax and stop analyzing everything. This internal dialogue is not weakness. It's the mind trying to preserve social stability. Because leaving a psychological environment, even emotionally, can feel like losing part of your identity. Think about it. Your personality didn't form in isolation. It formed through interactions with the people around you. Your humor, your reactions, your communication style, all shaped by the environment you adapted to. So when you begin outgrowing that environment, the mind experiences something similar to disorientation. Who am I outside of this system? That question can feel destabilizing, and sometimes the mind responds with self-sabotage. You might suppress certain insights during conversations so others remain comfortable. You might downplay your curiosity or deeper observations. You might even pretend not to notice things your mind clearly sees. Why? Because awareness can create social friction. When you see dynamics others are unconsciously participating in, speaking about them disrupts the system, and systems resist disruption. Not intentionally, but instinctively. Groups tend to preserve emotional equilibrium. If one person begins questioning the dynamics, the group often responds with subtle pressure. You're reading too much into it. You've changed. You used to be more relaxed. Those responses are attempts to restore the old balance, but internally, something important has already shifted. Your perception expanded, and perception rarely contracts once it becomes conscious. This is why outgrowing an environment often feels lonely at first. Not because you've lost empathy. In fact, many people experience the opposite. Their empathy increases. They start understanding why people behave the way they do. They see attachment patterns influencing relationships. They see how trauma bonding keeps certain dynamics repeating. They recognize how nervous system conditioning shapes emotional reactions. They understand the system more clearly than ever before, but understanding something is not the same as belonging inside it, and this realization creates a quiet turning point. You stop trying to force alignment. You stop pretending the environment still fits the person you're becoming. Instead, you begin observing with a different kind of awareness. Curiosity replaces frustration. You recognize that people operate at different levels of psychological perception. Some are deeply introspective. Others function primarily through habit and emotional conditioning. Neither is inherently wrong. They're simply different stages of awareness. And when you see it that way, something subtle changes in your identity. You stop asking why you feel disconnected. You start asking a more honest question. What kind of environment does the person I'm becoming actually need? That question shifts the entire psychological landscape. Because outgrowing an environment is not arrogance, it's evolution. Your mind developed new layers of pattern recognition. Your emotional awareness expanded. Your identity moved beyond the boundaries that once defined it. And environments built around your past version of yourself may no longer stimulate growth. This doesn't mean rejecting people. It means recognizing psychological compatibility. Some spaces nurture expansion. Others maintain stability. And the moment you understand that difference, the discomfort you once felt begins to make sense. It wasn't alienation. It was awareness. Awareness that your internal architecture has changed. Awareness that the social system you once adapted to no longer reflects the complexity of your perception. And once that realization settles, something quiet happens inside your identity. You stop trying to shrink yourself to fit the room. You start noticing which rooms were never built for the person you were becoming. And sometimes the most unsettling realization is this: you didn't suddenly outgrow your environment. You just finally noticed that your mind already had.